So it was the 6th. So the 7th, I got my period, what seemed to be my period, and I talked to the doctor, and she thought the timing was right. And so then it becomes October 16th. So 10 days later, and I'm still bleeding. You don't bleed for that much with your menstrual cycle. So I was like, at least not mine. Mine was always 6 days. So it's like, okay. And then the 16th of, oh no, sorry, it was the 15th. The 15th was the Friday, and the 15th, I had a big push of blood. I'm like, that's it, I'm going to the hospital. I've been bleeding for almost an entire month. Actually, no, at that point it was, because I started bleeding on the 18th. So it had been an entire month I'd been still bleeding and cramping. And I'm like, there's something wrong with me. I'm in pain. There's something wrong with me. And I trusted my gut. I went, and I stood in the emergency for hours and hours and hours and hours, got my ultrasound. Then the next day went and got my ultrasound information. Hours and hours and hours waiting in the hospital over this weekend. Very minimal blood. After that big push of blood, very minimal. Then I was like, okay, so maybe it's gone. And so now on the Sunday I had more tissue and blood come out. I'm like, okay, this must be it. I already did my pregnancy. Like, the ultrasound showed that I didn't have any fetus in me anymore, and that it was just my lining, that like a normal period, like it sheds normally, but it wasn't going away. And so they were like, okay, well, good thing you came to the hospital, because, you know, maybe you need D&C. And so I was like, okay. And my doctors, by the way, have my so-called family doctors, my pregnancy, don't even call me, don't contact me, don't even know anything. Like, I called them telling them my symptoms and everything. They don't call me back. And so I went to the hospital, and they then said, why don't you go to the women's clinic? And I'm like, sure. So they set me up at the women's clinic. Following day, I got an ultrasound at the women's clinic. So I got an ultrasound done, still lots of tissue, and I'm like, okay. And they're like, so we're gonna book you for a D&C. So they did, and then I got to my appointment on Wednesday, and they're like, well, we're gonna have to wait a week because we only do it on Wednesdays, so we have to wait until a week again. I'm like, oh, okay. So they asked me to do the meso pill, the mesophilia something pill, to speed the process up and get rid of it all. And I was like, no, I've heard about the pill. So my camera died, so I have to switch it to this angle. So I just want to continue, but basically they wanted to speed up the process. I said no. I would like to continue with my D&C because I was literally having an anxiety attack in the middle of my appointment. And the girl was like, okay, I'll just let you. I was like, maybe I'll take the medication home, and then I can decide if I want to take it or not, and then we'll go from there. And she's like, sure. So she was writing up a prescription for it, and then all of a sudden halfway through, she's like, I see and hear you hyperventilating, so we are going to not do that, and we'll just book your D&C. And I'm like, okay, that makes me feel a little better. But what is going to happen in the meantime, right? What's going to happen to me? Am I going to be okay? I was having such a bad anxiety attack because no one was telling me any information to make me feel calmer. And so she then said, you know, here's the information. If you pass the clots and the blood, then great, because that's what needs to happen. Please don't freak yourself out when it happens. And so she ended up giving me Ativan. Oh yeah, right, the hospital gave me Ativan, just enough for a couple days, and so I was taking that to calm myself because I was having such bad anxiety about the blood, because I have such bad blood phobia. No one wants to see blood leaving their body, especially in mountains like that. So basically, I said no to the pill, didn't do the pill, waited the week, and I kid you not, the whole entire week, nothing. Medium blood, maybe, like light to medium blood, so like 4 pads a day, maybe, and that's not even full. Like, that's just comfortability wise, to not be so sweaty, because you know how uncomfortable pads can be, especially wearing them for 8 weeks. 8 weeks I have dealt with this. Okay, so it's October 28th, as I mentioned, and so anyways, I chose the DNC. It was yesterday, and fuck, I wish I got this weeks ago. I don't know what it's gonna be like in the next 2 weeks, because it's 2 weeks now of following of blood on and off. Light, they said, if there's lots of blood, there's concerns and stuff like that you'll get, but like, I don't know how often that happens. I would like to know, it caught my anxiety. But basically, yeah, like, I've had no cramping since the moment I woke up from my surgery. So let's talk about my surgery. I was a fucking mess. Thankfully, I slept like maybe 7 hours the night before. My appointment was at 8:30 in the morning, so I got there at 8. Really early. Bad idea. Actually, there was a long line for check-in, so that was lucky for me. But otherwise, don't go in that early, because you end up sitting there for half an hour anyways, because your bed's not ready. So I ended up getting all checked in. My bed wasn't ready. Waited like half an hour. It's like 9:30 almost, and I'm now gowned, having full crying sesh for a 5-minute procedure, because the DNC is only 5 minutes long. You're under heavy sedation. You don't remember it. I do not remember it. Zero zilch. But right beforehand, I was having a full-on anxiety attack, getting gowned and everything. There's a man next to me getting ready for some surgery. He catches that the doctors were trying to pull 16 of his teeth when he only needed 1. So thankfully he caught that. That's just wild. The dude was already, he has the dentistry phobia, so he was like, oh my god, my worst fear was just about to happen to me. And I'm like, you know what, dude? You just did it. You just survived your worst fear. The dude was hyperventilating, and after that moment, calm. He was freaking me out, because I was sitting next to him. And he's like hyperventilating. He's like 85 or whatever. He's like, oh my god, I can't do this. I can't do this. And he looks over and he's like, you're a lot calmer than me. You're taking this really well. I'm like, man, appreciate that. 20 minutes ago, I was worse than you. He's like, come on. Yeah, I had an Ativan, and I'm still anxious. I had a full Ativan, still anxious. Still motherfucking anxious. And and we shared a moment, I think. You know, he kind of had a laugh, I had a laugh. Kind of calmed us a bit. You know, it was a hard moment, you know, being stuck in the OR waiting room. It's fucking, I don't know what it's like at other hospitals, but that's fucking weird. It's like Grey's Anatomy, when you're sitting out in the hallway and waiting to be pushed into the OR. It's the same thing. And all the doctors are running around you, and you know, I had a few sweet doctors actually. One of them was really cute East Indian dude. He had his sister named Andrea. He like came up to me with my chart. He's like, oh my god, my sister's name's Andrea. And I was like, oh my god, how old is she? Because I was getting my IV in, so I really needed, he knew I needed a distraction. He was so nice. He was so nice. That man was such a sweet man. Such a doll. If that man isn't married, he needs to be married because he was so cute. He was like one of those sweetest, gentlest, like, little doctors ever. Like, he was so cute. He was petite. He was so small. He was just, he really calmed me down. I really enjoyed him. And my other guy, my anesthesiologist, he was a weirdo. But he was really calming too, but he really helped me during the IV and everything. But he used the word cocktail. It was weird. He's like, oh, make sure I do the perfect cocktail. Like, he kept doing it because I had such bad anxiety anyways. So, yeah, that was interesting. And then being put into the room and, like, I don't even think they counted down. They were just holding it there. And they were just like, how you feeling, Andrea? And I'm like, I'm good. And then, like, all of a sudden I'm out, and then all of a sudden I'm awake, right? And it was a lot sooner, too, because it was, like, 11, or I think 10 something. She said 10:56 or something. And it was, like, 11 something. My ride, Susie, my foster mom, picked me up. I had no cramping. I still don't have cramping. Took Tylenol once because I, like, felt something, and I was like, I don't want to be sore, so let me be precautious. So far, no cramping, very light blood, and I'm so grateful that I did this procedure because that was really hard. That was 8 really hard weeks. Now I can finally, like, fully emotionally take a second, and that's why I'm making this video, is because I feel like making this video is gonna help me heal, help us heal, because we lost our dear little sweet baby, our sweet pea, we don't know, and it's so sad that we didn't get to meet them, but I'm glad we got to start this journey, and I'm a lot stronger from it, I think, and I think that's a positive. Tyler and I are a lot stronger as a couple. My God, was he amazing. Like, having a partner, having someone there means the most. You need someone there. Like, I don't know. I give props to anyone who does this alone. Holy crap. Because, like, yeah, like, the statistic, everyone's like, yeah, 40% of pregnancies end in miscarriage, but that's such a big group right now because that also includes people who are, like, 3 weeks pregnant and it's just a period. Like, they just get a heavier period. That's it. They don't even notice. Whereas people like me, who've gotten weeks and weeks of knowing that you're pregnant and that you're looking forward to this pregnancy and that you think you're about to have a baby and those X amount of months later, it's like a different ballgame. It is so much different than what you think it is. Like, it is so not how they make it seem. I don't know, it's so weird. It's just, you know, you see these things on Instagram where these families, and sure, you know that not all of it's true, like, a lot of it's filtered and stuff, but, like, you never know what's really going on. I'm telling you, like, a miscarriage has put a lot in perspective for me as a person, as a person in society, as a person living on the earth, somebody that's taking things from the earth. I've changed a lot. I think I've always been that person. It's just needed something to give me that reason. And unfortunately, this was mine. Again, another thing under my belt. But I survived. Why am I so tired? I mean, I guess it's literally 24 hours later. Oh, it's not working. It's 24 hours later since my surgery. And so, maybe I'm just tired from that. I don't know, I just feel that was probably the hardest thing I've ever been through. And throughout my channel, you'll get to know me and what I have been through and why this is like so big sadness in my life that I can't believe trumps everything else. Like, it's just something that we thought we were gonna have that's made of us. He's not here anymore. Makes me sad, but makes me hopeful that knowing that I'm pregnant, that I can get pregnant. It's like just so much that you don't realize. No one talks about this part. Like, let me count the weeks. It's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Okay, so it's 7 weeks, not 8 weeks that I've been dealing with just the blood. The blood since my miscarriage part. Since the actual miscarriage. 7 weeks. And nine weeks since we found out. Longer than my pregnancy. My miscarriage is less than longer than my fucking pregnancy, which is sad. But like, people don't talk about it. Like, yeah, sure, maybe you didn't know you're pregnant, or you did know and you knew for like a week. And then you actually went and got test results and it's like, oh, actually, no, there's nothing here, really. Because at that point, nothing is grown. When you're at the 6 weeks, things are growing. Like, you're about, like, once you hit the 8 week, that's when that's a fetus. And then that's when it's like, you're no longer an embryo. Like, you are, like, you have parts. You have a heart that is beating. Like, you are a human. Once you have a heart, you're a human. To me personally, you are. And I was so close to there. I thought I was, at 12 weeks, I had a miscarriage. I thought I was fucking 1 week from being clear. But then, you know, at my 9.5 week, 10 week ultrasound, said, sorry, it's not gonna progress. Which is fucking saddening and terrifying. And I wish no one had to go through it. I really do. But you know what? At least my body knows what it has to do. I'm thankful that Western medicine can give me a DNC and get rid of it faster for me. So I don't have to wait another month. Because I don't think I could have waited 2 to 3 months of this. That's 2 or 3 months I can't have a child. And you can't heal. So it was like, what do I do? And I'm really grateful that I've got my DNC. That I'm here right now. That I'm this much closer to becoming a mom. Because this means that once this is over, we can heal, wait a couple months and start trying again. Which makes me happy. And I think that that's why I think I'm okay doing this video, is because I can smile, I can think that like things are gonna get good, even though things have been so bad. But I truly, truly think that maybe this was meant to be, and I mean, it was genetic, so I mean, if it lived, I mean, I would have loved it so much. And it makes me sad that we couldn't love it, but it happens. I thought my scenario was pretty bad, and maybe it could have been worse. I don't think so, but I mean, at least my baby wasn't full grown, because that would be hard. And there's a lot of people that have stillbirths, and I really pray to God that does not happen to us. So I just enough in this video to kind of capture what happened, at least to me. To just know how hard that was, and I still want a baby. That's love, like having a baby because you want to love something, and you want to take care of something, and you want to cherish it. You want to see it grow and be cool and awesome. Like, one day we'll have a family, but we have to close this sad chapter first, fortunately. But I hope you guys don't feel too sad for me. This isn't a pity party thing. This is honestly just to get my story out, share my experience. The dread, the hell I went through with my doctors not calling me back, with the 4 times I went to the hospital. I didn't really say it that much times in the video, but that's how many times I went to the hospital. And this isn't because I'm like some hypochondriac. This is like, this shit was never prepared to me. And I hope maybe one day, maybe I can spread the word to help this happen. But maybe in schools, they don't just teach the innocence part of teaching how to have unprotected, or to have protected sex, to not have unprotected sex, but also to understand that if your pregnancy doesn't continue, what that looks like for somebody, because that should be something to consider, I think, personally. It's really tough on you. It's emotionally draining. It can be hard on a relationship. I've seen videos, I've seen shows, not like TV shows, like real reality show, like real people on TV have a really hard time with miscarriages in their relationships. Thankfully, mine was not that. I have the best partner ever. Seriously, he really helped me while going through this as well. And I think it's super important to have somebody there for you. I hope somebody like Tyler is there for you. If you're ever going through this now, I'm so sorry you are. I know how it feels. I know you're not alone. I'm here. I know how much pain it is, emotionally and physically. I know how draining, how much it hurts. But don't give up, because you're gonna love it when it happens. It's gonna be magical. It's gonna be a journey. It's gonna be an amazing journey. And you just gotta do it. As Nikki says. But no, seriously though, like, grateful to have gone. I'm grateful to have gotten pregnant. And I hope I can again. And I hope you guys enjoyed this video. You know, it's hard to watch somebody be so vulnerable sometimes, or, you know, to hear the truth sometimes, or, but it's good. So thank you for watching. And I hope to see you in my next video. Bye.